What's going on? This is SAMOK from SAMOK Fit. Checking in with you guys. So you guys are doing well, doing terrific. And we are back with another video. If you live under a rock, you probably never heard about AI, artificial intelligence, especially ChatGPT. If you don't know what ChatGPT is, essentially it's an AI, artificial intelligence, where you plug in a lot of information and it give you, you can write a paper with it. You can automate a lot of processes. But this is not a channel for learning artificial intelligence. So what does artificial intelligence have to do with fitness, which is my YouTube channel, which is what you guys are here for? Like, why don't we try to use ChatGPT for fitness? Why don't we have ChatGPT write us a training program? So today is a shoulder focus workout. So I wanted ChatGPT to write me a program, a shoulder focus program, to see how I will compare that with my current training program. Yes, the point I'm trying to drive home with this video is, one, can an artificial intelligence be your new trainer? Can artificial intelligence write you a precise program that's tailor-made just to you alone? So we are going to be comparing what ChatGPT wrote. We're going to compare that to what I am doing right now. I'll give you some feedback on what I think about the program it wrote, and is this something that you can use in the future to create your own program. But before we get into the training program, of course, shoulder mobility is important. I've talked about shoulder mobility in the past. Shoulder is one of the biggest joints in the body that has the most range of motion. What makes them stronger is what makes them weaker too, because they have a lot of range of motion. They are more exposed to getting hurt. Actually, shoulder is number one, probably second or the top two joints in the body that most people hurt. So before that, because we want to protect ourselves, shoulder mobility, then we're going to jump into what ChatGPT wrote for us.
Hey yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the piece, you gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage.
I noticed when I plug in the prompt, so prompt is the question that you put in ChatGPT, whatever question you want ChatGPT to answer for you. The first thing I noticed is you need specificity, right? Just like any other training program that you're doing, specificity matters. I just went broad. I'm like, hey, write me a master training program. So it created a 3-day training split program, including some of the movements. And I have to say, I am quite impressed with what it wrote, because it's similar to what I would write for somebody. But let's dive into day one. So the day one of what we're doing is going to be what recommended is barbell shoulder press, 3 sets, 6 to 8. Movement number 2, Arnold press, 3 sets, 8 to 10 repetitions. Incline bench press, 3 sets, 10 to 12. Cable front raises, 3 sets, 12 to 15. The reason why it's so scary is because on day one alone, there is 2 movements that I currently have in my training program today. And even further, the reason why I'm impressed is because the rep ranges. On a barbell shoulder press, for instance, is recommended 3 sets, 6 to 8. And one of the things why I don't like my clients to do when it comes to compound movements, not to go anything more than, let's say, 12 repetitions, right? Because oftentimes, one, you are going to expose yourself to a lot of injuries, and technique tends to go out of the way a little bit. So keeping those rep ranges under 10 to 12, it's typically ideal. So the fact that the first movement is a barbell shoulder press, it's impressive. And I have a similar variation to a barbell shoulder press, and that is a Viking press. But another more impressive thing, which is going to be the first one we're going to be starting with today, ChatGPT recommended an incline bench dumbbell press, or incline dumbbell press. But today we have an incline machine press. So again, oftentimes I've talked about, like in previous videos, like, hey, should you do a direct front delt workout, or you shouldn't do a direct front delt workout? So I guess ChatGPT is saying, yes, you do need some direct front delt workout, because there are some direct front delt workout in here, and there are some indirect incline press front delt workout. So far, so good. I'm impressed. right, so we just finished with the incline press. Again, like I said, incline press is one of Max and I were having a conversation just now. Like incline press might actually, be better in some cases more than OHP, just because, especially if you want to improve your front delts, because you got your clavicle fibers involved in that, more anterior delt, and obviously yes, more overhead. Overhead press will be a little bit more of a, depending on where you're placing it. If you go for more neutral position, might hit a little bit more of a medial delt. But yeah, still impressive shit. And the next one ChatGPT recommended, about to jump into that, is recommending barbell press, but we are going to be doing a Viking press, which is essentially a similar thing. One is a little bit more of a machine base, and the other one is more of a free weight base. Is exercise sequencing when it comes to strength training, your workout program. For the most part, yes, if you are in a busy gym and there's a certain equipment is being taken, yes, you can jump ahead just for the sake of time. But if you have all the time in the world, your exercise sequencing matters. So for instance, I will use as an example, the last time we trained, we did an incline machine. We did the Viking press first, then we moved to an incline press. There is a significant amount of drop in performance on both movements. Significant amount of drop on the incline movement because we did this first. And now coming back to this movement, and we went back to the original sequence, which is the incline press, then the Viking press, the amount of effort, the performance, and the numbers actually significantly higher. So your exercise sequence does matter. The way you structure your movements does matter. So if you have the ability to stick to those sequences, or sequences that are going to be potentially beneficial for you to actually get the most performance out of your training, do it. But at the end of the day, if you're struggling for time, you're going at a later time in the day where your gym is normally packed, it is what it is. You just got to work with what you got. One thing I think is worth mentioning on how precise the programming for this movement is actually broken down into day 1 being anterior delt focus, day 2 lateral delt focus, day 3 posterior delt focus. In case you don't know, yes, those are the 3 main parts of your delts. So I like the fact that I broke that down. So if you are trying to run or program a shoulder specific workout, yes, I think it took into consideration the frequency at which we should be training those, right? Because that's your primary main focus. That's what I asked ChatGPT to do. So the fact is focusing on each day, like I told him hey, create a massive delt program for me, and quite impressive for that. So one of the recommendations, of course, for the lateral delt is recommended some seated dumbbell press, lateral raise, cable lateral raise, and bent over lateral raises for your lateral, bent over lateral raises. So a lot of lateral raises that's been recommended for you. I don't know if I will create that for somebody just to have a lateral delt focus. I'll try to mix it up just because the longer you go into that training program, maybe the quality of the movement is going to decrease a little bit. So I like to actually spread them across the week, as opposed to saying a lateral delt focus day. So one thing, the movement we just finished right now is a variation of a lateral delt, which is just a dumbbell upright row. I've been loving it, precisely, especially if you don't like lateral delts, or if you don't like upright row and live with something friendly. Using a dumbbell upright row is a good variation because it allows you to kind of just play around with your spacing of your hand a little bit compared to where you use like a dumbbell or where you use a barbell, what's going to keep you in a more of a strict position. So we just finished upright row, and now we are going to be moving to the portion on delts, anterior delt, and the posterior delt together, cable face pull, superset with a front delt raises. This is not how the program programmed it. This is what we are doing to match up or to compare what ChatGPT wrote and what I wrote. Front delt raise, superset with face pull. So we just finished with supersets, front delts, front delt raises, and face pull. By the way, give a thumbs up to the man holding the camera because his hands are shaking right now because he just finished shoulder workout. So takeaway from ChatGPT. Oftentimes a lot of people get crippled by not knowing what to do. Like, I just don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. But a lot of times you actually have access to a lot of information, a lot of helpful tips. Is ChatGPT going to replace, can ChatGPT replace an actual human being like myself, like a coach, when it comes to exercise, designing the training program that's catered specifically towards your needs? No, because you still need a lot of auto-regulation, you need a lot of specificity. Yes, you can be as specific as possible, and it can kind of just give you a range or guide that you can actually follow. So ChatGPT should be used as a guide, but at the same time, it shouldn't be used as anything to replace a coach like me. I know it's very it's unbiased opinion, by the way. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me. Like, yes, is ChatGPT something that you should be afraid of? Is ChatGPT something you should embrace? Because I think a lot of people are very hey, I don't know about that. To AI, it's going to replace us. No, it's not going to replace you, but definitely it's a tool that you can definitely use to enhance or to structure exactly what you're going to do. So the training program is great for somebody that wants some specificity towards a certain body part. I'll be interested to see, or if you guys want to see me actually do a training program, a full training block, let ChatGPT create that, and I can talk over what I would do differently, or I'll recommend, or if you have a specific body part that you want me to cover, or you want me to cover, or you want ChatGPT to write out for us so we can cross that together. Let me know in the comments. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Again, like I said, this is fun content for me to produce, all put together for you guys. I enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it too, if you do, give it a thumbs up. SAMOK from SAMOK Fit, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.